Did I say my name? I don't know if I said my name. Hi. We're back on the show. A reasonably hyped episode 2. I hope you guys liked the first one. This is Carlos Macias, and I'm here with my co-host here, Deo Blas. Thank you for joining me again, sir.
How's it going, Carlos? How you
You
doing?
know, we had a kind of a interesting discussion about Ghost of Tsushima yesterday, and I think we're gonna go for it. We're gonna buy it, I believe. We'll see. So this time, I hope you've heard about this one, and I'm curious to hear what your thoughts on, and I'll riff on that. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this. But you did see that story that was going around. I think was it Wall Street Journal about the guy that he sold like millions dollars worth of PlayStation 5s, and he's like a reseller
Oh,
type of guy,
this is
you
the,
know,
the teenager.
the
He like
teenager,
targets the
right?
teenager.
Which I saw.
Yeah.
I saw the. So I do follow Colin Moriarty. I know he's a little, controversial sometimes, but he did a breakdown of it, and he was talking about how so the guy might have made 1 point whatever million dollars on reselling these systems, and they do say resellers. Going back to Salient Point Zero episode, I did have a scalper slash reseller on that episode. If you guys want to listen to that, he breaks down how they use bots and they do all these kinds of things to get these systems going. And he did say the preferred term is reseller. So I thought it was interesting that Wall Street Journal, they didn't say scalper, they said reseller. But anyways, the breakdown for this was that the guy made like 1.8 million or however much, or millions of dollars, whatever he made, but he really only profited like 100,000. So it's like, that doesn't seem like the greatest amount of profit. It's like 6.5% profit or something like that. But besides the profit aspect of it, people are still missing out on this limited stock that people can't get them. What are your thoughts on this, man? The fact there's this guy, this teenager, just being a Grinch, I
I
suppose.
yeah. I don't like it at all. I don't like. I calling them resellers is nice. I don't
Oh,
like that at all. Like
yeah,
scalpers, like, and they take
yeah.
advantage of the system. And if he's like a teenager, like how the story reads, like he
Mm,
has all the time in the world to do all this type of
yeah.
thing. Like normal adults that have jobs and families and everything, like they can't be like refreshing Target's website or whatever for restocks,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
can't create bots to do any of this type of stuff. It's the same thing that happened with like sneaker culture. Like they
yeah.
they made all these bots to buy. I don't know what the newest, the highest rated sneaker is
Yeah.
right now, or most wanted sneaker, but like it's the same stuff. And like, I don't know, I hate it. I hate how the scalping situation is right now. I
You
really
know,
do.
you know, I do like that you said you brought up a very fair point there, salient point, if you will, that adults really don't have the time to be like F5ing and checking. They're at work, they're doing something.
Hmm.
Look, I won't age you, but I'll age myself. I'm 34 years old, and I actually at day one, I was able to get a PS5 because it turns out that if you got to make sure to get these pre-orders, man. Sometimes people are like, don't pre-order.
Yeah,
I agree, don't
yeah,
pre-order for video games, for titles that you can eventually
I agree.
download or whatever. But as far as consoles are concerned, it turns out if you're even slightly interested, put down a pre-order for it. And I did that for the PS5, and I was like, the Xbox, I'll get it down the line. So the PS5 I had day one, but the Xbox, man, I couldn't get that thing, and it actually got to the point where I was thinking, I'm gonna have to pay scalper prices for this thing. I'm gonna have to get on eBay and we don't have to get too deep into like financials or anything. But how I do things is kind of like, okay, I know this is coming out at this time, so I'll save up in that time to get it. We're adults, we have credit cards, but still, I'm like, you know what?
Yeah,
Let me have the cash in hand type of thing. I go back to
yeah,
my
but it
when I was 10 years old, like saving for stuff,
for
right? But
sure.
but
Yeah, but like it's like a gaming console isn't. It's not like groceries or something. It's like an
yes.
entertainment device. It's not
Yes.
necessary.
Yeah.
So
It's
like
not a
some
staple
adults, it's
product in that way, right? Yeah.
right. And then
Yeah.
so when people are paying scalper prices, which is like 150% or 200
Yeah.
percent more than what MSRP is, it's just insane.
Dude, I was
And I don't
willing
think
to
that's
pay up to like 750, I think, and because that's kind of what the so what happened. If people must know, there's a thing called Hot Stock. It's an app, and it sends you
I've heard of that. Yeah.
notifications. So please go to there first, right? Go to there first, because and I had to I think I had to do it like 10 times. Like on the 10th notification, I finally got one. But that being said, understanding all that. And I know people are like, well, that's capitalism. But I I kind of agree, man. I kind of agree that it is capitalism.
It is.
If you don't have the time to sit there and scroll and you really want something, then what do you have to do? You have to pay up for it, right? So you trade in your time for, I got to pay an extra $100 because I can't get it otherwise. All right. So I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's unfortunate. It's kind of, it's kind of one of those things. If something's in demand and you really want it, where it's like you have to determine how much is it worth to you. And to me, I had determined that I was like, maybe I could go up to 750. And I'm glad. And I'm glad I didn't have to go that route. I'm glad I was able to like order it. I use that Hot Stock app. But I honestly think I think there's this whole sense, and I understand it, and we don't have to get too political about it. But I think there is a sense of like, why are they that rich? They can't be that rich. And it's like, well, you got to blame the system, right? You got to hate the game. You can't hate the player. You got to hate the game, right? We're a little old school, I feel. We understand what that means, right?
Yeah. I completely understand the capitalism of it, because in order to even get to that guy's level where he's making like 100K off of these sales, he had to put so much capital to just even buy these systems, first of all, right? And then he just keeps churning it out or whatever when he could find the opportunity to do so, which is just that's just how it is. That's literally the American way.
Yeah.
To find, like,
there's been as long as a hustle has existed, it'll continue, right? And that's this guy's hustle.
That's his hustle. So if you give him, it's not that advantage. It's more of like, if you gave him the capability to do it, or the legal way to do it, they're gonna do it. Like, there's no one telling him he can't do these things. So I could totally get that. It just sucks that it that it takes advantage of a lot of people's what do you call it, wants for it. So,
well, and the thing, it drives it up too, right? Like the fact that I'm willing to be like, I want it, I want to get it. Halo's coming out, or I forget. You know what? I think it was the build up to maybe the Medium. Possibly, or no, I think it was Outriders, and I knew it was only going to be like for Xbox, and I couldn't play it on the PC. Like, you know, Microsoft is smart too, right? They're like, everything's on Game Pass on PC, Xbox, but they're like, wait, this one's for Xbox Series X, because I have an Xbox One. They weren't allowing it on that one as far as Game Pass is concerned. So it really is it's capitalism at work. I know people get upset, and I know they want to burn up the system, but this is America. I mean, this is definitely what's his name? Donald Glover's Childish Gambino's "This Is America," and it's kind of
America.
Now, do you have any sense of how do you have it? How would you solve it? That's kind of the hard thing too, to kind of determine how it's solved as far as.
Yeah, well, I think access wise is the easiest one. Like, I like how GameStop's approach is right now. So if you're a pro member with GameStop, then you get like an inline queue. You have like your own queue to go and buy. So you're a first come first serve kind of deal, and then whatever stock they have left, they just give to the general. They try to sell to the general public. Microsoft had the same kind of deal, because that's how I got my Xbox Series.
Did you get one day one or no, or after?
I did.
Okay.
Like, I lucked out on both. I don't know how the hell that happened, but I got So but the Microsoft one was like, I've already been like in their insider program, and part of their they have like flight programs throughout the Xbox One X life, and their software programs. Yeah. So I've already been like invited to a lot of those. So that's how I got mine. And it's kind of like prioritized to people who have been loyal to like the platform. So
it's kind of hard. You know, like how you were talking about the GameStop thing. I think that's one way they could kind of possibly curtail it a little bit, is you have to show up physically. You know, because part of the reason that people can kind of scrounge up all these systems is that they can do it digitally, right? They set a bot, they figure out, it's like, I'm grabbing it. I know when the drop is, and I'm grabbing it. You know, they want these systems sold. That's the thing. I think that's why Microsoft and Sony, they'll put on a quote unquote brave face, and I don't even think they've said that though. I was thinking, have they said, oh, we don't like the scalp? I think they've said that. They'll
not officially.
They'll say stuff like, I know behind the scenes, right? They're like, these. But even behind the scenes though, you think about it, like, these things are getting sold. What do we care? We can only make so many. If we could, we would make more, so there wouldn't be as much scalping, right?
And I think it's like kind of like free advertising for them too, because it's like that fervency that like happened. Remember, like was it like the Tickle Me Elmo? Remember that?
Yeah. I think I might have bought one, to be honest, man.
Really?
I was like, it was when the Wii came out in 2006. I think the Tickle Me Elmo came out around the same time, the same day that the Wii dropped, and I was in line. I think I might have been like the last person in line. It was at Toys R Us. Toys R Us is long gone, but it was at Toys R Us. I was in line. I think I was like second to last to get a ticket for the Wii. And they were like, we also have some Tickle Me Elmos, and the people in line like, dude, grab one, man. I'll buy it off of you right now. And I'm like, all right. And I think I might have done like a quick turnaround, like. He gave me an extra $20-$30 or something like that, and I was like, sure, man, here's your ticket for Tickle Me Elmo or whatever.
That was like insane. Like that was happening, like I was happening in my Walmart, and I remember like I distinctly remember there was like a whole shelf of them. No one cared until like that report like on the news started coming, like, oh, people are snatching these up or whatever, because I lived in kind of like a smaller town or whatever.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's what happened when I was in line. It was just starting, and some people, the hype was growing, right? And the internet wasn't what the internet is now, right? The accessibility, and these kids are tech savvy, man. So the guy that I interview, I think he's like 5, 6, 7 years younger than I am or something like that. So but people know that I can do business from my phone. It's a natural thing now, but it's definitely a tough thing here. I'll leave you with the last word, Deo, before we move on to the next topic here, man. But or any more thoughts on that as far as the scalping thing?
Yeah, I just don't like it.
that's
my deal, man.
I don't like it, but it's one of those things. It's the demand is there. It's gonna continue. It's gonna continue as long as supply is limited. They can't get them out there, right? But I do suggest you guys go back and listen to Salient Points, and I called it episode 0. That was I don't know what to do with the podcast, kind of like this, but I hope this goes far. But at that time, it was like episode 0. Go back, find it at We Got Comms. It's a pretty good interview. It's very low quality, and people can say, it's like, wait, some of these podcasts are low quality. You're obviously recording through your AirPods or something. But that one I was literally recording it off of like my phone or something. So, but just please do excuse the quality. But I think it's pretty good. You're getting firsthand, from a reseller, scalper, whatever you want to call it. All right, we'll see you guys for the next episode. Thank you for joining me, Dale. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Thanks for having me.